Guys, welcome back to my channel. I missed you. I just miss your energy and I just miss all the positivity. So I love you guys so much and thank you so much for all of the support. You guys, I'm in such a good mood and I've been in such a good mood for a few weeks now. Actually, I want to say about a week and a half. If you guys haven't noticed, my skin has been just turning around and just becoming more healthy and just much better now, especially for someone that wears a lot of makeup like me. You know, I get into drag every 2 days. Full beat, whether it's a shooting for Fashion Nova, doing a video, or doing some just PR work, I'm always in makeup. So yeah, so my skin has been just going through it. And I know this video isn't sponsored by Laser Away, but a big shout out to my Laser Away family for the Clear and Brilliant procedure. They basically got my life together and I'm just so grateful that my skin has just been looking good. I mean, it's not like super baby skin perfect, but I never was baby skin perfect. You know, growing up, I've always had acne, I've always had scars. That being said, you guys, it's gonna be skin today. I'm excited to get into drag. It's gonna be all about skin. I've updated a lot of products that I've used on my skin for the past few months. And today we're gonna do step by step. So if you guys are ready for basic skin 101, contouring, highlight, baking, pressing, primer, moisturizer, keep watching because this is going to be a really good video and I hope you guys get a lot of tips and tricks from it, as much as you guys can. Now before we start, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. It does kind of tell me that you guys want to see me again. So this is literally going to be the step-by-step form. Like this is what I do, like before I get into eyes. I do have a couple of new products in the studio today. So Patrick Starrr and the One Size family, they sent over the Blur Magic Primer. Actually, excuse me, the Blur Makeup Magnet. Did I say magnet? The Makeup Magnet Primer. When I saw this on Instagram, I was obviously so excited because you guys know I religiously use the Milk Grip Primer. It's my favorite primer if I want makeup to stay on long. But does it blur? No, it doesn't. So I will be trying this out today. So this will be the only new product on my skin that I'm like literally using. So that being said, first, I always love to moisturize my skin because I am super oily. Now listen, I know what I just said. I'm oily, but my toner dries it out. And then I want to bring the moisture back into the skin. Because I do think when it comes to skin, I think having hydrated skin is super important because it does affect the texture of the foundation and the skin and things like that. So I love the vegan milk moisturizer. As you guys can see here, I've literally devoured this product. It's just that much amazing. Like it literally brings so much moisture into the skin. So I usually use about like a dime size and just one layer. Now, step one is always get the moisturizer on first because you really want the moisturizer to kind of really sit onto the skin. I always like to bring the extra down to the neck. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get the brows on. So I always get brows on right after the moisturizer. It's a personal thing. I like to visually see my brows before I get anything on. I've tried to do brows at the end, which I know a lot of people do. I just don't know how people do that because there's just so much product and it's just, I don't know. So let's go and get these brows on and then we're gonna go right back into skin. I mean, honestly, you guys, this brow right now is just kind of like a layout of what my brows are gonna look like. Later on is when I kind of go in and I really, really detail the brow. This is just for me to see from eye where my brows are sitting. And the other reason why I do get my brows on first, you guys, is because if I mess up, I can always just take it off right away. So that's kind of like my layout. And you guys are gonna see when I clean it up with a concealer, it's gonna look just 10 times better. This way, if you do mess up your brows, you can just go back and just kind of wipe it off and then restart. So this is just like a layout. And then I'm also a firm believer, like brows really set the mood of the face. So when you have like snatched brows or when you have full brows, it really does tell people what kind of makeup you like to do. I now, after the moisturizer, I always like to put on the primer. So in this case, I will be pulling out the One Size primer. Now this Secure the Blur, a little bit of information about it. It's an ultra blurring, pore refining primer with niacinamide, I can't say that word, that mattifies and evens out skin texture as it grips makeup for flawless application and enhanced wear. Apply before makeup. So this is how I kind of see it. Skin, moisturizer, primer, color corrector, foundation, powder. That's the layers of what it is because I usually get everything that needs to touch, meaning moisturizer needs to touch the skin so it can hydrate the skin. Primer needs to touch the foundation so it can prime the foundation. You guys understand? So when you do primer and then moisturizer, it's kind of flip-floppy. It doesn't really affect what it needs to affect. Pulling this out, you guys, the bottle looks like so, very straightforward. I love the pink, I love the chrome, I love the vibe of this. It's looking very skincare, and it almost reminds me of like sunscreen. I've never used this before, so we pull it off like this. It's a twist off, and then you can kind of squeeze it out just like so. So I do love this squeeze too, because you can control how much you want to use. Now, I don't know how much to use. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a very thin layer around my face with my finger. Actually, let's go ahead and be professional, and let's go ahead and use a brush. I'm just gonna take a little bit and just kind of squeeze it, and let's just apply it. With my skin products, you guys, I really rarely change products for the skin because, like I said, I break out like crazy. It's just something I'm born with. But I haven't changed my primer in a long time, so I'm gonna put some on the forehead. You guys, I do see, I wanna say, it kind of looks like waxy. It feels cold, it's not like wet. That's which by the way, I do like. I can feel it's kind of tacky. Like I feel like it's very waxy. It's very blurry feeling. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not sticky. I'm kind of wondering, because it's not sticky now, is it gonna stick to the foundation? Because when I use the other primers that I like, especially the Milk Grip, it's very sticky. Like, it's like, that shit is fucking sticky. But this one feels very baby soft, and it's like waxy, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, I kind of like the way it feels. I don't feel rough. So I'm gonna put a little bit more. All right, you guys, so now what I do next is I color correct. So you guys can basically use any color corrector you guys want to use. Today I will be using Jeffree Star Orange. And honestly, you guys, when it comes to like color correctors, I feel like they all do the same thing. I can't sit here and tell you which one's better and which is not. I always say, do you want to pay this much or do you want to pay that much? Listen, I've been doing makeup for over 10 years, and I remember I would use orange color crayons to do color correction. Girl, I can't tell you nothing. All I know, there's a way to do it. Orange is always gonna blur out and cancel out darkness. So I always like to kind of put it around my beard, underneath my eyes, like so. You wanna use a brush to kind of blend it out. So I have a particular brush. Now this is the Morphe M512. So I just take it and I just press it on like that. Now you can cover whatever you want to cover. There's not really a way to kind of like really fuck this up. But I use a big brush because you can do this. Like you can just kind of blur it out and fade it out. Now, I don't know who the hell is sitting there with a little paintbrush and doing this, because I feel like that would move it and it would just take forever. But at the same time, who is really color correcting this much? So that's kind of it. Now, the step that I think a lot of people miss is setting it. I personally like to set the color correction because when you put foundation on top, what I tend to find is the foundation mixes with the wet color corrector and it becomes this orangey. It changes the tone of the foundation. So for today, you guys, I will be using my friend's Laura Mercier translucent. They sent over so much of this, and honestly, I truly think Laura Mercier translucent powder is the best translucent powder I've ever used. Go ahead and just set, and when you guys set it, you can tell like it's kind of lighter. Look at this. So I'm gonna set this side. See how it's lighter than this side? Like I feel like when you do it wet, it's gonna mix with the foundation a little bit, especially right here, because this is where we're obviously gonna highlight. It just makes more sense to set it. And just do like a very light layer of set. You don't need to be like dripping in freaking translucent powder everywhere. You can just kind of really press it. How's that? Now we're gonna go ahead and conceal the brow. So I will be using, now you guys can use whatever concealer you guys want. I have the Jeffree Star concealer because he sent over literally all the colors, and why not, right? I use any type of concealer. Like I even use this. Sometimes if I'm feeling really drag, I use the KVD Vegan Beauty Locket. And then if I want something super natural, I use the Flawless Fusion from Laura Mercier. They're just my favorite concealers. And honestly, I don't have a particular concealer that I like. I just like the most coverage concealer. Like, period. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take this, and now I usually keep it on the actual doe foot. I don't really use a brush or anything like that because I just use the tool that it comes with. And now this is where you're gonna start to kind of sculpt your brow. I go underneath my brow Now you guys, I'm being serious. This is like literally what I do all the time. This is kind of how I clean my brow. Remember you guys, this is just gonna be a brow sketch. This is not what my brow color is going to be. It's just for me to kind of really see. So same thing here, sculpt that brow. On the bottom of the eyes, I usually like to keep the same color, but before that, let's go ahead and blend this out. Taking a beauty blender, you guys, my favorite blenders ever. I don't really like any other blender besides beauty blender, to be honest. Why? I just think beauty blenders are just the best blenders ever. Kind of just blend this down. Same thing here, blend it down. And then now, taking the same concealer, whatever you guys want to use for concealer underneath the eye, this is the time to use it, but I like to kind of keep the same color here and here. So I take it and I just cover, honey. I mean, honestly, his concealers are just full coverage for me. They just do it for me. But I will be using multiple different under eye concealers today because I like my highlight to be a certain color. I say wrap it around the nose. Girl, I go through concealer like crazy. I press it into my pores. You're gonna start to look like this. So taking a beauty blender, let's go ahead and blend all that out. I always take into the eyelid because you never know like what kind of eyeshadow you're gonna do, and you don't want, you know, you always want like a even layer of color wherever you're applying. Because right now, like imagine just putting like a little bit of brown shadow and just kind of winging it, like you're done. Same thing here on the nose. And you could take it as far down as you can. I really do see a difference with the primer. It's like really smooth, like, oh, it's so smooth. Okay, perfect. And then now what I usually do with foundation is one, I mix them, okay? I mix my foundations like crazy. This is like my tool that I use to mix foundation. I don't ever have an actual foundation color. It's very impossible for me to find a foundation with any brand. So what I usually do is I use a pan stick. These are the foundations that I use. This is Benefit. This is the Hello Happy Flawless Brightening Foundation. And then I love the Laura Mercier. This is Flawless Lumiere Radiance. And I mix these two together. I don't know how I do it. I just do it from just like looking, and then it just formally makes my color. But I always use a pan stick for my beard, but only at this part. So this is the part that I usually just do a beard. And that's pretty much the pan stick that I use. And this is the Mayron pan stick. You guys can use whatever you guys want. I personally don't like to use Krylon because Krylon to me is just really drying. So Morphe sells the priming beauty oil, and I love this oil because not only there's so much. I bought this like honestly like 3-4 months ago, but this is what I usually use to mix my foundations. Like mixing this with a foundation makes your foundation last longer. Like I'm waiting to buy more foundations. I find that this does make your skin very, I want to say very airbrushed. I don't know what other word I can use. So if you guys are at Morphe, pick one of these up. I love this oil. I take my dish and I just kind of pump all of it. So it's about like that much. And then I kind of just take this foundation and I'll pump 3. And then I'll take Laura Mercier, the Lumiere, and I'll just pump like, oh, it's darker, so I'll pump like 3 as well. I'll take a little spatula spoon and also start to kind of mix it. See, it's just kind of like mixing. And I mix this with the foundation besides putting the oil on the face, because what happens when you put the oil on the face, it kind of gets too much. I'm gonna test drive it, so let's see if it matches. Perfection. You guys, I'm telling you, if you ever need me to match a foundation for you by combining colors, I can do it. Like that's like my specialty. People ask me what's my talent. Like if I was on Drag Race All-Stars, my talent is I can mix a foundation for you. Okay, let's go ahead and apply. So taking that brush, I'm just gonna start to press it into the skin, okay? Look at that. And remember, on my jawline, there is pan stick, so don't mix it too much. Oh my God, look at this. You guys, that primer is everything. I'm not gonna mix it with my concealer because that's where it's gonna start to change the concealer, and that wasn't the point. This is why there's always makeup everywhere, girl, because I'm just messy. Now that I have everything kind of foundation, concealer, foundation, pan stick, now what you wanna do is take whatever you have on the brush. Now you wanna smear down the foundation. I don't like pan stick all over my face anymore. I used to do it all the time because I was just very drag. But now, like, I really love more of a natural finish. Taking a beauty blender, now we're gonna just press it into the skin. You guys, this primer is actually fucking amazing. I'm actually very obsessed. I'm not really blending, I'm just kind of pressing it and evening it all out because we just used a brush. So I'm taking out really light foundations. I'm gonna pull out this color, which is C8, and I was using a C14. So I'm gonna choose really, really light shades. And this is where the highlight is gonna start. And you guys can use whatever shade you guys want. You guys know I love, love, love a bright highlight. I love it. It's my signature look. It's something that I've always done. I love a white highlight. Like it's just my favorite thing to do. So I'm gonna pull out KVD Vegan Beauty Lock-It Concealer as well. I actually really recommend this concealer for you guys. If you guys really want that perfect filtered lock-it, you guys get this at Sephora. I don't have a code for you guys at KVD Vegan Beauty. So what I do is I kind of press it right into that concealer, and you guys are probably like, oh my god, you're using KVD Vegan Beauty with Jeffree Star. I don't fucking care. That being said, let's go ahead and blend. So this is where the white is gonna start to kind of appear. I'm telling you, it's that Lock-It KVD Vegan Beauty. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Look at this primer, y'all. This primer really is letting me have it. Wow. Oh my god, this primer. What the fuck? Oh my god. This primer is everything. Oh my god, it's so everything. Oh my god, this is like not even real life. I feel like I'm a walking like filter. Oh my god, my new favorite fucking primer. I'm gagged. Okay, let me blend this shit out. Blend out the forehead. We're getting to the point where we're about to say goodbye to all of our cream products because we're getting ready to set. But before that, I'm now time to contour my nose. Now you guys know when it comes to my nose, I'm very insecure about it. The nose that I think I have is the nose I don't have and I'm trying to create. I have obviously a button nose and I love a very pointed, just point nose. Like I love that look. I'll filter my picture and I don't give a fuck if you guys clock me. I personally love a pan stick contour because it just lasts a long time. And this is by Glow. This color is called Sable 9W. And I use this brush because this is what's gonna really give you the point. I take it and I just drag it down the side of my nose. See, I just drag it down. And I do the same thing on this side. Now, the great thing about doing this, you guys, is that you guys can be really messy and just kind of get it on there. This is really just the outline. It's not even the shade that I'm gonna use. And this is where you kind of just blur it and blend it out. You don't have to be super perfect. It's really just to kind of get that outline on so you don't have to go back later. To clean it up a little bit, I take a beauty blender and I just kind of go back and I just kind of press it at an angle. And then voila, now we are ready to set. Now I will be using Laura Mercier A. I've used a lot of things, but today, because it's right here, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. And I just prefer Laura Mercier A's translucent because it just makes your skin that much smoother. Now you just wanna really set that face all over. Now, I like to control how much I use. When you set too much, your face looks really dry. And I like a very velvet airbrush finish. So that's why I use the Beauty Blender. And then when I get to my neck, I use a different powder. I'm gonna use the Ben Nye Neutral Set. And this is where I just kind of press it. I actually used to use this all over my face. I still do, but I just feel like I like to kind of keep the same product on my face. Now, take a brush and we're gonna go ahead and just dust off everything. Alright guys, so now we have literally all the creams and liquids done. Now we're never gonna ever touch liquids again because it doesn't make sense to go back after you set it and then start putting liquid on powder again. That's just weird. So right now, I don't touch anything creamy besides an eye primer. Pulling out my favorite highlighter ever. This is the Nikita Dragon Beauty Dragon Heart Transformation Powder. When I tell you, this is like literally the best highlight I've ever used. Actually, not the best, but the best now. I mean, I use tons of white highlights, but this is just it for me. Like, it's doing it for me. And what I'm finding is I'm not running out. Like, I use so much of this to touch up and to highlight that I don't even know why I haven't got a new one yet. I take it with a little brush and I just kind of really highlight underneath my eyes. Now, I usually do this first before my bronzer and my contour because I like to make sure the places that I need to be highlighted are very highlighted. I take it and I just kind of pinch it. And I actually use both colors. I don't know the difference, to be honest. I mean, obviously I do, one's pink and one's more yellow, but I like it all together. I know, I'm very highlighted. But this is just my look. This is my look, girl. And I'm not gonna be this highlighted. It's just really getting it on. And then at the end, you're just gonna see. And I do a little pinch on my nose. Very dramatic. All right, guys. So now moving on, you guys, I went to the MAC store the other day and I picked up some products to refill. So these are two of my favorite products ever. I always, when it comes to bronzers, I always use the MAC Mineralize. It's my favorite. It's the only airbrush product that I know that gives you an airbrush finish. Because I worked for MAC for like 7, 8 years, you know what I mean? So my hands are used to this product. So if you guys have an actual bronzer you guys like to use, feel free to use it. And then I love the Kabuki at Morphe. This is my favorite brush for bronzer in the entire world because it's gonna give you like an even spread. So I take the mineralized and this, and then we just start to kind of apply everywhere but the highlight. So taking it, let's just go ahead and just buff it in. You guys are probably wondering why like I didn't contour with liquid on my cheeks. I have huge fucking cheekbones if you guys haven't noticed yet. So I try to skip the cream part. Look at this, like the MAC. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, I'm sure bronzers do that, but it's just, I'm used to this product. And I always bronze up and I always bring it to the neck like so. And then, this is the funny part, because I don't think MAC people do this. So I love MAC Studio Fix powder. It's my favorite powder. Honestly, my favorite full coverage powder in the entire world. Like, I don't think any other makeup brand or product can beat this. And if they do, then they somehow replicated this, because this is old school gangster. Like, if you guys didn't grow up wearing MAC, oh my God, you guys missed a whole decade, because MAC was the shit. Honestly, their face products are just better than everything else. So what I usually do with this product, I go back and I start to kind of mattify everything, because that bronzer, specifically that bronzer, it's almost like a shimmery, not shimmery because you guys will probably think it's like shimmery, it's just very glowy. Okay, so I take my brush and I just kind of really mattify this part. I kind of press it on the parts that I don't want to be so bronzy and shimmery. Oh, I love it. So we have all that set. Now, moving on, you guys, let's go ahead and pull out another bronzer, because you guys know I bronze like nuts. So this is one of my favorite matte bronzers. I want to say contour color. This is like a contour color. This is called Beach by Beauty Bay Cosmetics. And I take a brush and I kind of take it. Now, it's a little darker, okay? This is going to be a darker shade. And I take it. Now, this is where I'm going to start to kind of contour the face. So I kind of keep the shade very tight against my cheekbones into the hairline. Okay, so I kind of go like that. You guys, I can really tell by the primer, it's actually really good. So see here, perfection. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is gonna be the same shade that I use for my nose. So this is where I take a little brush and I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna lightly buff it into my nose contour. This is like, I'm telling you guys, this is what I do all the time. Okay, now take that down and just really bring it in like that. See? And then, last but not least, you guys, one more contour. This is the Heat Spell by House Labs. Gaga came out with like 3 of these shades, and this brown is everything. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this, just a tiny bit, you guys, okay? Nothing crazy. And we're gonna just pinch it right in the back of, like on the back of my farthest contour. So taking it, I'm just gonna take it and mix it in. I always recommend using more than one contour color, because that's where you're gonna start to really see the blend in the shades, see? All right, you guys, so now I always like to bake. So baking, I use a bunch of different products. Okay, so I love the Jeffree Star. This is the neutral loose powder. And then I love the translucent from Laura Mercier. So a couple of things why I use different ones. And then I'm also gonna use my BADDIE neutral. This is the brown. I don't bake with the same product. I kind of keep the color scheme the same. I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent on my nose because I really wanna keep this color. So just taking it, I take the Laura Mercier because it's translucent. I don't wanna lose that color, okay? And try to keep your lines kind of somewhat straight. And I pinch it. Now I take the Jeffree Star because I do know his, I want to say Jeffree's loose powders are more airbrushy, velvety versus just flat matte dry. So I take that and I like to press it underneath the eyes. And then I take my neutral because this has color in it. Now I don't like to use light or translucent powders here because it does lighten up underneath my face and it looks weird. So I take this one that has color and I just press it like that. And then voila. And then now you want to wait for a little bit. Now, as I wait, I like to go back and do my brows. Remember I told you guys I'll go back and do my brows. So I'm going to use the Morphe Pencil. This one's called Java. And I want to say these are like $3. Like I'm telling you, I never spend more than $5 for brows. And now this is where I kind of take it. And this is where you're going to clean it up. There's my brow coming in. Remember early in the video when I was using the pomade, I told you guys that was only a sketch. Well, this is why. This is going to help me really make sure I execute great brows. Because if I went back right now and I messed up, I would literally have to clean up all of this contour that I just did, and then it's just gonna be a mess. I'm gonna give up and I'm gonna hate my life. So this is why I always outline it first. Okay, so now the brows are kind of sketched in. Last but not least, I love to go back in with the Morphe 2. These are like little brow crush tinted brow gels. They have this at the Morphe store or online, and just kind of comb through the hair. If you guys are shopping on Morphe, you already know y'all should be using my code Kimora because it does save you money off, you know what I mean? So why not? Okay, so I take this and I just kind of comb it in. Now, as we're baked, we're good. We're ready to kind of add a little color. The blush that I've been loving to use is the Head Rush Blush and Highlighter Duo. Now, this one is from Haus Labs. It came out with the bronzer and it's a dual set. So you guys can grab one of these. It's a really warm, pretty blush color with a highlight color. And I actually rarely use the highlight. I just love this color pleaser. It's just perfect. If you're someone that's tan and want to look really warm, I love this blush and I actually recommend it. And sometimes if I don't really want a blush that's so over the top, I use Peachy from Beauty Bay Cosmetics, and this is a lighter version of that. So when it comes to being tan, I love to look just kind of really warm and tan. I technically like to do my blushes with my translucent powder sitting because that kind of tells me from the eye to eye on how much blush I'm using. I dip a little bit in both and then now I just apply. See, when you do it with the translucent, you can kind of see where it goes. Pretty. And in blush, there you guys go. And then now what you gotta do is we're gonna just take a little brush and just gonna dust off all of that. I like to use a small brush for the nose area and then a big brush for the rest of the face. And then when you dust everything off, you can kind of finally see like what's going on. So just take a brush and just kind of blend everything. Oh, it's so pretty. Because everything is set, everything is flat, matte, dry. I always like to bring back some luminous, some hydration. So I love the luminous setting spray from Morphe. You guys can use anything that's luminous or hydrating. And when you guys do that, it does bring the moisture right back into the skin and you start to kind of look more baby soft again. So taking that, I like to kind of do like, I think the way this thing sprays, you have to like get really close. Voila, we have full skin, ready to go. I will be right back. I'm gonna go pluck on some eyes. Actually, I've never done a video where it's like backwards. This is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this look and I'll come back with the final look. I'm feeling so gorge. You guys, how is the finished look? The finished product? I'm feeling so cunt right now. Like I'm feeling I'm giving you guys like an early Valentine's Day vibe. Wow, you guys, we did it. We got to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this skin video. It honestly, I feel good about it. I feel good about this video and I feel good that because you guys know skin has been something that I've been really struggling with. Like it's one of my biggest insecurities and that's probably why I wear so much makeup. I hope you guys got a lot of great tips and tricks and information from this video on anyone that is concerned about skin. Thank you guys so much for viewing this video. I had so much fun with you guys. And then also, if you guys are new to my channel, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button down right here. There's a little red button. I'm gonna go take some pictures for Fashion Nova and yeah. Till next time. You guys, we did it. We did skin. I haven't done it in so long. And also, if you guys like more skin videos and skin techniques, let me know in the comment. I will make sure those videos will be up for you guys. I love you and yeah.